I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands indivisible with liberty and justice for all. Has everybody had a chance to look over the minutes from the council meeting on May 12th and the joint meeting with the commissioners on May 19th? Are there any corrections or additions that need to be made? Hearing none, can I get a motion to approve those minutes?
I'll move.
Dudley,
Second.
Jeff, Fischerow, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
6-0. Has everyone had an opportunity to review and acknowledge the clerk's monthly report for May 2025? Oh, that's right.
It's probably not one.
Jim, is it Jim?
He wasn't there.
Ken, at the joint meeting, you were not there at the joint meeting. Was anyone else absent? I don't, okay, you came in later. You were here, but you came in later.
I came in like 2 minutes later.
Yes, yes. So we need to change that vote to 5-0. The joint is 6-0 for the council meeting. Okay, acknowledging and reviewing the clerk's monthly report. Does anybody have any additions or corrections? Or any questions in regards to that?
I move that knowledge.
We have a motion to acknowledge by Dudley. May I get a second?
A second.
Denise Crowder. All in favor say aye. Aye. 6-0. Report of collections as submitted. Has everyone had an opportunity to review that? And are there any additions, corrections, or questions? Hearing none, may I get a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion.
Todd? Second?
Second.
Jeff Fischerow. All in favor say aye. Aye. 6-0. Review and acknowledge treasurer's bank reconciliation and monthly comparison reports. Has everyone had an opportunity to review that? And are there any questions, concerns, or corrections?
Motion to approve.
A motion was made by Denise. May I get a second?
Second.
Dudley? All in favor say aye. Aye. 6-0. Transfers, probation administration fund from training and education to travel and mileage for $213.84. Statewide 911 from utilities to overtime for $4,000. County General 911 travel and mileage to overtime for $935. Does anyone have any questions or concerns in regards to those transfers? Hearing none, can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Denise? Seconded by Todd. All in favor say aye. Aye. 6-0. I'm going to open up the public hearing for 911 dispatch floater position at 9:09. Does anybody have any questions, concerns in regards to the floater position? Kara.
That go away, just $4,000 overtime, could you do something like that?
Dudley, you want to speak on that?
Farrell, I'll answer that. I sit down with Dana and, right now, the 7 employees are working 8 hours every day overtime. So And that, so it's not gonna take care of that 4,000, that's taking care of what she's had so far. That will, should take care of all the overtime for the employees. But we sit down and figured out the employees you have right now, they used all their vacation, sick and personal days. That's 283 days they have that they can use, which is 113 hours a week that's not being covered. So she's going to have more money for overtime just to cover her employees use their vacation, sick and personal. That wasn't figured in when the budget was done. So to answer your question, no, it's not going to stop the overtime. There's still going to be overtime. Hopefully, maybe she can find some more part-time employees and they can work, but it takes so much training to get someone to be qualified by the state to run those monitors that we're still going to have overtime.
Does anyone else have any questions?
So where are we gonna take it from? To know that.
Well, have we advertise a dollar amount? Do we have to advertise a dollar amount before we?
Cam, have we advertised the dollar amount for the floater position, or do we? No, we do not.
So we'll have to do that.
We'll have to do that.
Okay.
So that's something we can approve. Actually, maybe we need to table that and approve it at the joint meeting. That would give her time to advertise.
Well, can we vote to approve the position because the commissioners have already voted for it and get the money? And I have for you to advertise, there's 15 pays left. The floater will not work more than 38 hours per week and not get overtime. So it'd be $25,080 for the rest of the year for that floater position. So, and then we'll need, do we have to advertise for the salary ordinance to change that? Or we just vote that because we'll have to put that on the salary ordinance?
No, because this would just be an additional.
Yes, this will be an additional one, right? Be advertised, but put it on the salary ordinance.
Yes, we would do that. Does anyone else have any questions or concerns? Hearing none, I'm going to close the public hearing at 9:12. Public, how do you want to do this? Should we?
I think we can vote on the position.
Yeah.
Let's vote on the position. Can I get a motion to approve the 911 dispatch floater position?
I'll make that motion.
Dudley. May I have a second?
Second.
Todd. All in favor, say aye. Aye. 6-0. Public hearing on the health department building. I'm going to open the hearing at 9:13. Does anybody have any questions, concerns, comments in regards to the building? Carol?
I'm concerned with the mold. We're getting enough real estate, I don't know.
There's gonna be a remediation on that anyway. Mold. From the building owner. The next.
They said that, yes. I know that Jeff has some things written down from the inspection sheet. Would you like to cover those, Jeff?
Yeah, the inspection that JD did, there was water mitigation from the outside rains into the crawl space. JD found white powdery deposit in the crawl space, but he didn't find any mold. It's just maybe possibly the start of it. There was a ridge cap pulled loose up above on the roof. It's a steel roof. Downspouts and gutters not working on one side, and then sloped in spots, not running out. Spots in the ceiling. Window crack and cracking, and windows are cracking and cracking, separating a little bit where it was caulked back a few years ago. Plumbing leaking. Poor drainage in sinks, water heater needs attention. JD felt like, and he's right, in the health department, you need, electric GFI protection. There's none there, for he didn't see any. There was furnace condensation in the drain and it was leaking. HVAC needs checked. Air supply duct damaged. High moisture in crawl space. Cover plates on outlets gone. That's just some of them, which concerns me. I just, I don't know. I think the owner along with Ethan's doing the contract for buying it, and it has been negotiating with him. I believe the owner would be willing to fix them. But there's a lot there to fix, and I'm not sure the timeline's pretty slow. So that concerns me on that. So
Carol,
I think that all this should be tabled and all that stuff is fixed.
well, that's the way the negotiation went with the owner. It's supposed to be fixed. But it just concerns me about the timeline and how quick it's going to be fixed for Jenny to move out. I mean, that worries me.
That's my fault. If we take possession,
Yeah,
I see
it
our fault.
slow progress in that. But Ethan's not here and he's the one talking to him. So I think the commissioners need to put some urgency in that, my opinion.
He didn't go about telling him it's gonna be fixed either.
Not really. But I mean, there again, we might have to have a building inspector come back and just make sure things are fixed right.
I was just gonna say this.
I just am worried for Jenny's sake, the timing, like how fast it's going to happen.
What is that issue? You're saying it, but what, you're not saying it.
Well, just that we're in a lease with a owner at Attica, and there's some
Things aren't working out.
yeah, it's not working out with the owner like we intended it to, and so we feel like we need to get out of that situation.
Okay, so the timeline being. that
Well-
we have to be out by.
No,
No.
we haven't leased for over a year.
Mhm.
So, but we just don't feel comfortable with who we're dealing with.
With what?
Who we're dealing with,
That's.
Carol,
Have you moved into that ambulance place? When it's camped? I mean, you got an exercise room, but I don't think it's necessary there.
well, we've actually talked about at one time putting the health department out there at the complex. But the sheriff and the deputy sheriff and the director of the ambulance service really didn't want any more traffic in that direction on account of the emergency situation when they leave there from the ambulance department. And I understand that. I get it. Because with the health department, there is an influx of traffic at various times, and they just thought they would rather us not put something there for them. And they explained it, and I understood. This situation with the building at Petersburg, we were just informed that it was available. I think Dan went and looked at it, and it was a viable solution at the time. But once we had it inspected and then re-inspected to delve a little deeper into the building, that's when all of this came about. So now I personally would like to put the brakes on a little bit and let's figure this out. So, and is there another solution? Maybe that might be a little better. So that's my feeling.
I guess the council, as far as, I think I'm speaking for Kelly, it is a little hesitant about funding something that has these issues.
Mhm.
It's commissioners that really, they're the ones that are selling or buying it, and we have to finance it, and that's where I'm concerned.
Mhm. We all, I would think, would be in agreement. We don't want to end up in another situation that we end up in with the annex. I think the intentions there were probably noteworthy, but once we got into it and actually found out what it was going to cost to renovate the annex, that's where we came to a screeching halt on that. So.
If we, what was they were going to do with the crawl space? What do you call that?
They were going to, they were gonna coat it with something.
Yeah.
What do you call that, Todd? Yeah, encapsulation. Yeah.
So encapsulation and drainage as far as a perimeter drain and going to the septic and all those hookups, that's money. That's going to take a lot of money. So we don't know what Ethan, I mean, within the negotiations, how much the owner's willing to give to take care of those issues.
And he's going to have to take care of these issues, whether it's us or somebody else, because unless you're paying cash for an as-is building, which most people will probably have to get a mortgage, I would assume, Denise, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but the bank is going to request an inspection be done, and they're going to find the same thing. So these issues, whether it's us or somebody else, are probably going to have to be addressed. But it's a timeline issue. I want assurance that it's all going to be done and done correctly, which means we're going to have to bring the inspector back in, and he's going to have to make sure that it was done right. But I don't want to sign anything to fund anything until I am assured that these are all correct, fixed and corrected. That's my thoughts and feelings. This is the health department. It is not a good situation if there is a mold or an idea of mold in a health department building.
Is that property on city water and sewer?
No, but he said that he has the permit to hook up to city.
Jeez, yeah, 'cause
Yes.
I know it runs right by there. I just can't
Yes.
say wrong.
Yes, he has the okay or the permit to do
Yeah,
it.
to do, yeah.
Just not.
But is there a cost to that?
There is,
Okay,
yes.
so.
There's a hookup fee and
Mhm.
I don't know how far they gotta go.
Right.
Him,
There's where the Casa building is on the other side of, on certain North Sterling Avenue, on the other side of 36, there's another building that Ron owns that has, I think the medical statements and suits for the healthcare to be in there. But there's like three, I think Andrea Fawcett has an office,
right?
and there's another office, and there's a big office with a whole entry and everything. Have you guys looked at that building?
Mm-mm.
So
Thank you for the suggestion. You probably didn't even know about it. Yeah,
so
thanks.
that might be another option.
Okay.
You Look at that one.
Who else besides Andrea is there?
Uh,
No, but who else besides Andrea is in the building?
So the cost is on the other side, so cost is in.
Costa.
Yeah, cost is in one, and then there's the whole empty one, and it's really, it's got a bunch of little offices, and it's got a front entry, window, everything already set up, so I didn't know if it would be an option, but it was healthcare at the time, and it was ambulance.
It's across from.
Yes,
Hi, I'm Kristen Allen. I'm not county resident. I also work at the town of Petersburg. I can't even Michigan and speak, and I just want to say I support health department of Petersburg. As a resident, for one, but also as working for the town. We did just invest a lot of money into our sewer plant, and like you guys were talking, we tapped into the sewer. So there is that new system there for that extra capacity. And we need, and I know the property owner. So, and I know he'll take care of those things. He's done a lot of work for the town over the years. So I really believe we can do that, but there is that on North Sterling. So this one's kind of well state and South Sterling, but North Sterling Avenue, they're getting better. So, that might be what needs to be done.
Okay, I'll pass that along to Aaron. And Jenny, would you like to let Dan know?
I think the attorney's got this all in his mailbox to take care of with the owner. I'm very sure of that in negotiations with it, but that's just concern. I mean, I'll let the attorney work on that and see if
Some of those things are just maintenance things
Yeah.
that they're running to 5 years, 2 years, 5 years down the road. But some of them like the basement, crawl space, it's more of a should be done.
that's
But so how many of those are there that are should have been coming from? If there's leakage in the roof, that's.
probably two or three things, maybe just encapsulation of the crawl space and work on the roof. And I don't think it's the whole roof, it's just the ridge cap and the gutters, the ridge cap. And then the gutters are not draining well, so that's all fixable. And like Chris said, I mean, I have, fix it, just getting it done and getting it worked out with the price is what we're worried about. Yeah.
Or maybe even put temporary boots in North Sterling, still south.
Yeah. And we, Dan, our doctor, he's basically right. We need it in the central part of the county, and that's what we're working on, striving for. So
I think it checks a lot of boxes for the health department. It's just we want, and I'm sure he will address all of these issues. I have no doubt that he won't. I just want to see it done before we sign on that dotted line.
And the citizens have obviously came to us, a few of them mentioned all these things, so we need to be transparent about it, in my opinion. So that's why I brought it up. Since it's been asked about several times.
Yeah.
Sorry, the address is 304 North Sterling.
Thank you, Kim. Does anyone have any other questions, comments, or concerns? Would anyone like to make a motion?
Close it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let's close the hearing at 9:23.
Raise for motion on it.
Where we're making a motion. That's about it.
Well,
Finance.
I was gonna make a motion that we table putting any money up for this building until either all those problems are taken care of, or we look at a couple other options.
Okay, Dudley's making the motion to table any funding until the problems are addressed from the inspection report, or we look into other options. Is that your motion?
Yes.
I agree with that.
Okay. Dudley made the motion, Todd seconded the motion. May we get a vote? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. 6-0. Department heads. Tina, would you like to go first? Tina's good. I don't think, Dana?
I just want to say thank you for voting in the voters position. That will help us tremendously and will help save money too for the town. So thank you.
Jenny? Jenny's good. Is there anybody on Zoom? Jason? Is there anything that you would like to speak about?
No, I'm good.
Sue, would you like to speak to Jason about the Rob Roy Cover Bridge?
Jason, I checked the bridge, I mentioned it to you a couple of weeks ago. And I checked the bridge yesterday and I took some pictures. There's some places where the asphalt is gone, there's one place where the wood is kind of broken up. And I just wanted to let you know that so that it can be repaired before any more damage is done.
Did you hear-
Okay. Yeah, we'll get up there and patch that before, prior to chip sealing.
Okay, and do you know for sure what day the chip and seal is gonna be done?
No, I don't right now. Our paving has gotten pushed back to the end of the month. So we're probably gonna be looking after the 4th of July before we're up there.
After the fourth now?
Yes. But we'll come up and patch that and get it taken care of prior to that.
I've got some pictures if you want, or you said you've been out there and seen it?
Yes,
Okay. Okay, thank you.
you're welcome.
Does anyone else have anything for Jason?
Jason, the bridge that was slated to be started late summer and fall, is that still on target?
What was that, Denise? I'm sorry.
The bridge that was gonna be replaced this year, original date was like end of summer, early fall, Foster Road, is that still the plan or?
We're still waiting on design documents. from
Okay.
SI. So as soon as I get those, we're expecting to have that possibly to go to bid probably this fall, hopefully. I'd like to wait until harvest is done
Okay,
before we start anything on that. So, but
Okay.
we should be able to go to bid hopefully before winter this year.
thank you.
Anyone else have anything for Jason? Thank you, Jason.
Hey, Jason, are you still there?
Yes.
Is it because of weather on Twin Lakes Road, that kind of mainly it?
Yeah, we've had weather, and we were going to start this week, but Milestone had gotten backed up, so they're going to be in the plant as well, and trying to do our community crossing. So there's going to be a lot of traffic in and out of there.
Okay.
We have some guys on vacation.
Okay, no worries. I just was curious.
Yeah, but we're planning on starting that the 23rd, and we will hopefully have that done that week.
Okay.
Public comment? Does anybody have anything they would like to discuss? I want to talk about budget hearing dates.
I got it. Stevie, we'll talk about.
Sure, let's move to WEGA first.
Ken, I was curious, you were going to Ready meeting after the week of meeting, did you, do you have anything to report?
So we have the regional board of representatives meeting in Lafayette on Friday. Additional documentation was asked for Brad's project that, and I just went and Julie was gonna contact him for that. They're still trying to get the Ready 1.0 finished, and right now, they're saying that if some of the things that need to be submitted are not submitted for Ready 2.0, then they're going, but they talked about taking those funds away, but at this time, everything's okay, and everything seems to be going as planned. One of the things that they're, she's in contact with all the project owners, and we have the responsibility with Ready 1.0 right now. And they're trying to get through that before they get onto the Ready 2.0. The IDC's got a lot of things that they're having to come through and they're under, big magnifying glass right now, so they're doing a lot of, so things are kind of just still up in the air and on pause. But, and we're okay on all of our projects and everything that is submitted as far as right now, there's nothing that we need to do or anything, and it's just kind of on, just kind of like I said, it's just on pause, there's some IPCs going through their own stuff, and so then, and once they know what they're doing, I'm sure they'll let us know what they're doing, so right now, there's just not really a whole lot going on, but I'll let you know anything that I know.
Question, just what
Yeah.
you said. Why are they under?
Well, I'm not 100% sure, it's the state, it's from what the state's doing with the IEDC, I don't know. If there was some discrepancies or something that's going on, I haven't. So it has to do with the Ready 2.0 grant and funding and how that's all being. The funds and the news and stuff like that, so it's.
Unlike Jeff, it's new governor.
New governor.
New governor. He wants to make sure they're doing what they're supposed to be doing and not,
And he's a businessman, so.
so.
And they're asking for extra documentation that they weren't people or things like that. So it's just part of the chain policy.
And while you're up there, the WEGA building, we discussed that.
Yes.
And all the funding is in place. Correct me if I'm wrong, to do all the outside,
On the outside.
all the outside
Yes.
and the floor.
And the floor.
Right. So it's all in place to do.
Hawaii.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah, so Atticus, the Dub Studio, the old Dub Studio that's being rehabbed.
And there are windows that would be put in as soon as they're able to, and there's some broken ones on the furnace you've seen that. And so there are new windows that are in storage right now that they're gonna put up and they already have the windows, so as soon as they have a contractor, they got all of that approved, everything's going on that. So, they're trying to move on it as fast as they can, get that out, at least outside of that floor, running that's new windows in here.
I think any movement, I think will calm
Yes,
some fears
yes.
amongst the public,
Yeah, I
so,
don't think there's anything to fear, that everything's still in place.
good. All right. Thank you. I don't have anything. Does anyone else?
I have a question for Kim though. Kim, I know we had the end of last year had to do our finalization on the art money. But is there any reports or anything that are due this year as far as spending and are we all up to date on?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. Only probably a little bit.
okay. Just want to make sure we
Don't want to
dot
say-
all our i's and cross our t's, okay. And then but this is on another subject, but has the Form 22 settlement been done?
We just got a bit of approval on Friday.
Okay, well, can we get a
Yeah.
copy of that
Yeah.
when it's all done? Okay, thank you.
Okay, I want to move to the budget hearing dates. Yes, Mr. Shaw.
Question. I'm not sure with the SB one, probably that SB one, can you figure out how much? We're gonna get less, but part of it's already being taken out because the city's getting their own. Not going through us, it's going directly to the city, is that correct?
No.
Am I understanding that right?
No.
Now, but it doesn't take effect till 2027,
Okay,
so
but
we really, I mean, next year may get changed.
With full implementation by the 2029 or something like that, yeah. It's not going to start until 2027 with full implementation by, I think, 2029. That's a lot of time between now and then. So things could change.
have we figured out how much less we can? I mean, because and going through my mind, through the sense, it seemed like the county is going to receive a lesser amount.
Right, and they should,
But there was money. That we didn't have to pay out either through the.
Right.
through the
Right.
states.
right.
So. how
They
much-
would have to come to us and ask us for a disbursement, more or less. We went to a conference that talked about this, and the numbers were all hypotheticals. So we really have no idea the exact amount that we're going to get less of.
So if we. I got that. We put out $7. $100. $100, we got $100, but you had to spend 50 in giving it to the cities. Now we get, instead of getting the $100, we got 50. We'd be on the same level. Is that what's gonna happen, or are we gonna get less? Are we gonna get 40 or 25? Out of the 100 we used to get, and actually paid out 50, so we have 50 ourselves for the city, put it down. And we're just now gonna get 40 or 25 for us. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yes.
I think it's still a moving target, but you also got to keep in mind that we might get the same, but the cities still need funded. So the cities might be coming to us for some of those funds. I mean, they're still going to have needs. So you can't ignore what went to them and then, oh, it doesn't, it's just going to be ours now.
And the disbursement percentage is different.
Right. So there's still a lot.
There's still a lot yet that I don't know that they really know.
Correct. That's how my take on it.
We have a statewide county council meeting later this month. Hopefully we'll get more answers at that meeting. There's supposed to be legislators there to go into more detail about the bill.
Yeah, that's a state board of accounts, state called meeting. They kind of require us to go to this. And there's some county councils that don't go at all. But we always try and make an effort to send 2 or 3 of us to go so we can find out what's happening. Because it directly, affects us. So
So we just don't know how much,
not really.
where we are at all. No. Okay.
Carol,
Will these cities can turn to putting more land into TIF?
I don't know, but they have basically, and I don't agree with this, but some of the control by the city councils, they won't have that control anymore. They have to come to the county and we have to approve it for that city. So they have to come and request the county for funding, or if they want to implement a tax, if I'm correct, I'm thinking that.
Yeah.
Yes, so I really don't agree with that because that's their city, but that's the way SB 1 has been designed and approved. Yes,
From a county level, are you guys able to make your own choices and say, we're gonna keep it in our county the way it is, and then those like.
well, no, because the way they decided how the breakdown is, a certain percentage has to be for this and another percentage has to be for this. And so we can't just say, we get $100 and, we want to give the local city, the cities in the county each get 5% of that. They've already set the percentage.
Based on population of the city.
See, if it's 5,000 or less, they can't implement their own tax. If it's above 5,000, they can implement, like they want to implement their own wheel tax. They have to be over 5,000 people. Well, I think Attica's not quite there. They're getting close.
No, it's 35.
3,500, yeah.
35.
Yeah.
They're getting close. They're not quite there. Until they reach that 3,500 mark, they have to come to the county. They also are at a disadvantage for community crossings grant for their local roads and streets. They won't get that either.
So they still haven't come to you for
Yep.
that.
If they want any paving projects done in their cities, they have to come to us to ask us for funding.
Then more than I'm getting on.
Probably not.
So we've got.
So it saves taxpayers on their taxes, on their property taxes, and on the assessed values of their properties, but now we're replacing it with a whole nother tax. So
Tax by the.
it's income tax by the state.
Good.
We don't implement that tax. This is what the state says that you're to do.
So, okay, so the. Yeah, actually.
That goes away.
Yeah, all those, the public safety, the,
The 0.2 or whatever.
Gone.
That's gone.
It's gone. Those are all gone.
Okay,
that'd just be a flat rate, I think it's 1.2.
Two.
1.2, that's the maximum.
Yes. One more.
And we
And
can't,
for the county, and we don't, like right now, the public safety and the,
oh, I got my paperwork right here, yeah. Yeah,
seat it is, we have to share with all the towns and cities. That goes away and we just get a flat 1.2 and it just, we do not have to, we don't have to share it with the cities, towns, townships. But they're all gonna come to us because they're gonna want money. They're gonna need money because
yeah, so
that's
here,
a big amount.
so here's the, they call it SB1 Local Income Tax Reform 2028 budget. For counties, up to 1.2% rate for county general purpose revenue, up to 0.4% rate for fire protection and emergency medical services, 0.2 rate for non-municipal civil taxing unit general purpose revenue, and 1.2 up to 1.2% rate for certain cities and towns that are not eligible to adopt a municipal lit rate because they don't fall into that 3,500 over 3,500. That's what they say we can do. So we have to decide what percent, because it says up to. So now we have to decide, okay, what are we going to need to operate the county, and what are these cities going to need to operate their towns? They have thrown all of that responsibility for the cities onto the county councils to take care of. I don't agree with that. That should be up to the cities to do it for themselves, because that's the local control.
Now you don't have to, before we can make the budget, we can, it's on the budget for the cities and towns.
They'll have to come to us.
Yeah.
They'll have to do
We'll
that.
have some sort of meeting with the mayors or whomever, the powers that be, to figure it out for them too. Because they have to work with us.
Yeah.
What their purpose?
It's a lower property tax.
Rob Peter to pay Paul.
Because it's all then gonna come out of income taxes.
Yes.
It's increasing income, right?
Yes. To some degree.
We're taking away over there.
Yes.
So I hope that answers some questions. Does anyone else have anything they would like to discuss or talk about? Okay, let's move to budget hearing dates. Last year, we had 6 budget hearings. And I think that worked out great. I want you to look at the last week in July. Dudley will not be here, but that's okay because he will be here for the remaining dates.
Gee.
I would like to have either a morning or a night meeting that last week in July. And the reason being is this has to be approved and adopted before November 1. And I would like to actually adopt and approve the second full week in October, maybe the 14th, because if we have to make any corrections, we have to advertise 10 days prior before we have that meeting to do any corrections.
Did the week of the 21st.
We can do that. We can also do it the week of the 21st of July. So let me know what you guys are looking at. I'm wide open those 2 weeks. I'm not like Dudley. I live a boring life. I go on vacation through Dudley.
So you want to have one evening meeting that week?
That week. Now we have a joint meeting. I'm assuming we're still going to be doing them in July. So the 21st would be a joint evening meeting. If you wanted to do something before, I could do that. Since we're already going to be here. We really can't do anything after unless you want to stay here until about 1 a.m.
About 23rd.
So, yeah,
No.
what about the 21st, just start at 4 o'clock or something
We could.
before.
We
the
could do
joint-
some of the smaller
do a couple
departments.
of them.
Okay. How does 4 o'clock on the 21st look to everyone? Are you wide open?
Yep.
Jeff, how are you? Good?
Yeah.
Okay. 4 o'clock on the 21st. We'll start that day. What I would like to do, we have a meeting on the 11th of August. I would like to include a budget hearing with that meeting. Would everyone feel okay with that? After the regular council meeting
On the 11th,
on the 11th. So we'll just follow our morning meeting. My intentions is to, by having a few more, it might lessen the time.
Mhm.
And maybe we can be out of here by maybe 1 o'clock or something. Do a few departments each time. So if you want to do that, we can do that.
So the night meeting, we're gonna go through our budget, look at things like for minor things.
Small departments.
Okay.
Mhm.
And then go to the larger ones at 11.
The 11th. And the week of the 25th, I would like to have another one, and I'm thinking, we can discuss what we did on the 11th. So if we need to make any, corrections or have questions or whatever, we can discuss it.
so August 25th.
I'm thinking August 25th. And we could do a night
We wanna
meeting.
Do that.
Right.
Yep. We're gonna do a night meeting. Does 5:30 work for everyone? Jeff, or Todd, where's that put you on time?
I can try to get back there, looking,
If not, we can do 6 o'clock. I'm just,
I think it should work.
okay,
5:30.
5:30 on the 25th. So I thought we would alternate that way through September and October.
So when are you gonna have the department heads?
They can come in on the 11th because some of them are gonna be here anyway.
Got it.
So, we can do that, and then we can do, the 25th, we can do department heads on the night meetings as well. And Kim and I will work on a schedule. So then looking at the 15th, it'll be the same thing again.
September.
Yeah, September.
It's our regular meeting, right?
Will that be it? Because it's Labor Day on the 1st.
But they'll meet on the 2nd. next year.
And then
Okay.
ours would be the
Okay, so ours is the 8th. It's a morning. And then, the 22nd, looking at an evening. Does that work with everyone?
Yeah.
5:30 again.
5:30 again,
So
that's September.
Can't believe we did that.
I know. It's crazy. We're gonna be at Christmas before we know it. And then the same thing for October. The only difference is we're gonna have to have that second meeting. Our meeting will be the 14th. Will that give us enough time to adopt on the 14th?
I think. we might
If we see where we're at on the
Seventh?
Go to
Yeah,
six, yeah.
We won't know until about September 22nd.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So why don't we meet the 7th as an evening meeting?
October,
Yes,
October what?
7th,
7th, okay.
and it's gonna be a 5:30 meeting. And then that way we can have our regular meeting on the 14th, and then following our regular meeting, we can do an adoption.
Okay.
That way, if we have to have a correction, we can do it on the 28th or the 29th. And then that gives Ken, she'll have everything close to being finalized, and then if we don't have to do a correction, all she has to do is submit it then. All right, let's go back over the dates real quick, make sure we're all on the same page. Starting in July, our first meeting will be 4 p.m. on the 21st, followed by the joint meeting at 6 p.m. Our meeting in August is the 11th, and then budget hearings following directly afterwards. On the 25th of August, it'll be a 6 p.m. budget hearing,
at
or
5:30.
5:30, I'm sorry, 5:30
25th.
on the 25th. September 15th, a morning meeting following our regular, I'm sorry, the 8th. I'm glad we're going back over these. And then again on the 22nd at 5:30. So the 8th in the morning, 22nd in the evening. October 7th at 5:30. And then the 14th will be directly following our morning meeting. And then the contingent date would be the 29th.
okay. Go up, October 8th will be an AM meeting,
AM meeting.
and once after.
No,
that-
no, no,
No,
no. October 7th will be a 5:30 meeting. October 14th will be a 9 AM. Because that'll follow our regular meeting. And then I'll email everybody these. How's everybody feel about those dates?
Good.
Good?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Does anyone else have anything else that they would like to discuss? Going once, going twice. May I get a motion to close our meeting?
make a motion.
Denise,
Okay.
second by Todd. All in favor, say aye. Aye, 6-0. Next meeting is June 16th at 6 p.m. It's a joint meeting with the commissioners. Thank you, everybody, for coming.